Yay! Hi, everybody. It is Tangent Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and both Instagram and YouTube are live at the same time, which is always pretty fun. Okay, so Tuesday is our time on Unicorn Wellness to connect as a community, go over some of the housekeeping things that are happening, talk about the movement patterns of the week and the month, and then it kind of takes a tangent. Whatever needs to be brought to light and for us to discuss as a community comes out. So as you join the room, hi Shauna, say hi, put a little emoji up. I'd love to see who's here. I'm trying in our live sessions Monday and Tuesday now to really keep to like 42, 55 minutes so that we are live on Instagram and we can keep mirroring things. Shauna, hi, I see you. And that way it doesn't get too long-winded and we don't get cut off on Instagram. So hooray, hi Sarah. So it's Tuesday. Yesterday we had our weekly tarot reading. And that's always awesome for the community because it's just another layer. As a member of UnicornWellness.Studio, you all get your monthly meditation, your new moon meditation, and the full moon, no, not meditations, readings. I'm losing my mind, you guys. So you have a monthly, a new, and a full moon tarot reading, right? And then we have our weeklies on YouTube that we can layer in. And for those who are not members of UnicornWellness.Studio yet, you all can start to see, like, how do we navigate the energies? How do we talk about them? How do we integrate them into our wellness, which is pretty cool. So it's also a one-off. Hi, Danielle. So it's Tuesday. Let's just do housekeeping first because that's easiest as people join us this morning, okay? Hi. Oh, good. Yeah, right? I was like, the weekly reading yesterday was really nice, okay? And we'll, again, nice. Usually that's a word that you're like, nice isn't a very nice word, but it is. When it comes to the energy of the astrology or the energy of the cosmos, like, nice can be a relief and like, oh, thank God, it's not challenging again. So yeah, we'll talk more about yesterday. So just basic housekeeping. The Deep Dive to Thrive sessions are on sale with me at tandygutierrez.com. They are 20% off. It is the only time of the year that they go on sale. So if you, good morning, Angela. If you are thinking about those, if you're like, I don't even know what those are, head over to tandygutierrez.com. Read about them. They're the 90-minute wellness consultations with me. It's kind of like the big thing, like in order to do one, to take the dive, to do the deep work. The 90-minute sessions are an hour and a half with me on video call, and we go through your alignment, your food, diagnoses, ailments, injuries, issues, movement patterns, workouts, both cardio and strength training and mobility issues. Then we look at foods and schedules, like we do a lot with daily schedules. And then I close with a 3-card tarot reading so that we allow for insight, either into, good morning, Jen, life at large. So these sessions can be used as life coaching, which a lot of my clients, they do the first one really for their wellness, and then they come back either the second time during the year or once a year to really look at their overall life and how to progress forward and support it in their daily tactics. So if that's something that's interesting, book it now because they won't be on sale again, okay? So you can do that over at tandygutierrez.com. They have been super magical so far. My schedule is really limited, but you can buy them and book out and use them whenever there's time, okay? And for the deep dive sessions only, if you don't see an appointment in my calendar on the online schedule that works, message me somewhere, email me. I will find a time. If you are willing to do the deep work, I will make time for you, okay? Good morning, Sue. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, you guys. Enjoy. Hi. Okay, so deep dive sessions are on sale through this month, and I know it's like, I'll just wait till the end. That's fine. You totally can, but just know that puts your appointment further. Oh, so just a little word of, if you're anxious to do it now, book it now. Okay, the big deal, if you are here in the New York area, so Jersey, in the city, or willing to make a little bit of a drive from upstate, that would be amazing. And here in Brooklyn, I'm doing full moon rituals now. I've booked a space in a studio, the sweet, sweet little studio, like blocks from my house. So I'm really hosting in my neighborhood, and we're going to do a full moon ritual. So it'll be similar to what we do here on Tangent Tuesday, similar, but different. I'll cover the astrology of that lunation, how it affects us as a collective. Then we'll head into 45 minutes of movement in the studio, which is nice because if you want to just be like, hey, what is our teaching like on the mat? You really want that one-on-one connection. You guys are traveling and it's a special thing to come and connect in person. I would love to see you. And then we'll have a 15-minute guided meditation. And then I'm going to pull tarot at the end of the session. There is only room for 12 people in these full moon rituals, okay? So it's a class, but I really encourage you all to think about it as a mini retreat, like an hour and a half in a month, and a special time to really connect as a community or get introduced to each other as a community. If you're not in the New York area or you're not traveling in either for it or, it's like an extra addition, you were already planning travel, you're like, hey, I'll drop in. Please share it with a friend if you have any friends in this area. That would be really, really helpful. This first one is Friday, April 19th, 7:30 to 9 p.m. I know it falls on Passover. I know it is Good Friday. I don't control the moon. Okay, I let her do her thing. So this is our full moon ritual, and I'm going to be doing these monthly here in Brooklyn. So again, if you're traveling, if you want an excuse to travel, every month on the full moon, April, May, June, and July for certain, these are booked and they're ready to go. I'm really excited. I haven't done live events in a while, and I've got 6 scheduled right now, and 2 more kind of floating in the ethers from now through summer. So cool. And if you're like, I'm not traveling, but I want you to come to my city, then message me. I used to do it all the time, and it's a really easy setup. So let me know if you're interested in hosting a Unicorn Wellness event. Okay. All right. That's really the basics right now, right? So on the site, you all are experiencing at UnicornWellness.Studio in your movement patterns. We're just coming out of the new moon energy. I mean, technically we're still in it, right? But it is in this transition phase around today. So you all have had your constructive rest week of full stretches and foam rolling, I think is what we started with. I should have better notes today. And I'm hearing a lot of you all loving these videos of the day. So let me know what you think about these movement patterns and these workouts and how they're helping to balance you all. The energy right now is still really conflicted, okay? So this new moon, and as a community on Unicorn Wellness, we're looking at the astrology and at the cosmic energies that come through the tarot, right? Because astrology isn't the only name in the game. It's a piece of the puzzle, and it's a big one. All of the workouts on the site are written in order to balance the energy that's coming through, meaning sometimes, like in Aries, it needs a little bit more drive and a little bit more strength push in order for it not to create anxiety or even depression. Aries energy wants to go, 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 go. The best way to filter Aries energy is to move, okay? So the movement on the mat this month is more traditional Pilates in its basis, but it's always, an ebb and a flow, and each workout speaks one to the next and has for the last 6 years. So there's, this transition that sometimes you may miss. And then we get into a real focus of the format that we're using, either yoga or Pilates in the last few months. But there's a lot of functional movement happening as well, meaning squats and lunges. We want to be able to pick stuff up, right? And not throw out our back. So the energies of this month, we're dealing with Aries season, which is go, 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 go. So there's much more of this like strength-oriented, like a little bit more straightforward working out on the mat that you see on the site. But the energy is conflicted, right? We've talked about it. There's a little pile up in Aries, and then there's this little pile up in Pisces, which is water, and all the feels, and very emotional and highly psychic and really sensitive. And it's the wisest, and Pisces like just wants to daydream and kind of zap out, okay? So I have a Pisces moon. Right now, the new season of Sabrina is out, and all I want to do is go binge on all of it and forget the rest of the world exists. Okay, that's kind of a Pisces thing. But So we've got this conflict of we want to experience and daydream and explore and meditate and listen. And then you've got Aries that's like, where's the energy? What can we do next? And it's going and it's moving. Aries is the athlete. So on the site right now, the workouts are really, focused on this blend, which is why Pilates is kind of the format of the spring. Pilates is so functional and protective of the joints, highly grounding, right? It brings everything in. It focuses on the core, so that solar plexus, that capacity to manifest, is really powerful. Rather than it being, all of the open, potentially yin or too much fire of yoga that kind of gets scattered in its energy. So we're bringing it back in for a little bit more structure and a little bit more grounding, but we also want that drive. That think of Aries as like a Jack Russell Terrier. I don't know if you guys know much about Jack Russell Terriers. I don't know why I know this. I don't know them. But they are really smart, right? They're small, but they're feisty and really smart. They're actually great on farms because they love to run and they have all this energy. And I think of Aries as a Jack Russell Terrier. If you leave a Jack Russell Terrier in your house for too long, they will tear everything to bits because they've got all this nervous energy and they need to move and they need to explore. So like they're going to do it on the couch. So understand that we are still sitting in conflicting energy. The way your personal natal chart sits, it denotes how like comfy you are with this. I also really believe that, the more you work your unicorn wellness tactics and the more personal work and evolution you've done, these transitions do become softer and smoother. Not to say you're not going to feel them or there won't be this weird, there's a stay go thing happening right now a little bit. Like daydream and ponder and just like wait. And then it's like Aries is like, nope, I don't know how to wait. I don't wait. That's not what I'm for. It's spring. Go, 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 go. So press play on the site. That's the short answer right now. I think spring and winter in particular are important times to keep your movement practice really intact. They're different in what we need in those seasons, but in the winter we can get stagnant and not moving and like stale. And so we need that movement to help keep us flowing. And in the spring, because it's such a shift from hibernation energy and we've got all this like go, that mat work anchors you. Okay, so I talk about this a lot, and this is why I teach what I teach, the power of anchoring and grounding your body and anchoring your intentions on the mat. That when you move them into the mat and you put your body and your energy there and you get the clean sweep of the chakras and the clean sweep of the energetic system, your capacity to manifest goes like way, 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 way up. And your capacity to navigate in a much more calmer response versus react category goes way up. So Aries can get into trouble and get hurt and really dismantle progress because they are moving too fast. Okay, so here's really the tangent for today, and then we can sew in some other notes if there's time. But you guys hop in with comments and questions about this, the energy this month that you're feeling, that you're thinking, anything that's come up in your workouts. I love hearing from you when you all resist certain series on the mat, because it's like, that's where the work is. Or certain series that you love, it tells me so much about you. So I want to hear how you guys are experiencing this energy and how the movement patterns are helping that or poking at it or triggering it, okay? So on Tuesdays, sometimes I get unbelievable messaging in or around meditation of what I'm supposed to be sharing with you all, okay? And sometimes Tuesday morning comes along and there's nothing. I'm like, okay, just show up on Tuesday and we'll just chat. And I almost always pull a tarot card before we meet. And I go, what do we need to talk about? What do they need to hear? Well, today I pulled the Seven of Cups, which I think is perfect, right? Like always, because the cards are always correct. Seven of Cups is about making choices, feeling confused. So it could definitely fall in that category of conflict, stop, go, anxiety, pure surrender, because Pisces can be pure surrender, okay, which is really beautiful. Oh, good. Yeah. So last week, anxiety was really high. So let's start there and then we'll move back to the Seven of Cups because that's a great place to start, Paula. last week anxiety was really high, or could have been really high. And what I want you all to hear, because we are speaking in a energetic spiritual perspective. Yes, there are 3D things that we need to consider, and that however you all can balance in this 3D lifetime or need to balance is totally up to you. Okay, so we're not talking like clinical bits, right? I really want us to understand that we're in the spiritual aspect of this. Anxiety is just like energy, just amped. Okay, and so for those who experience a lot of anxiety, or in particular, this is typically high frequencies, okay, like magic, okay, super high frequencies energetically that our body has a hard time processing, literally. And so then we get this like, and I had it last week too, and super sensitives. And again, this is why I teach what I teach and why getting on the mat is like so important. I'm a Taurus sun by nature. I'm a little lazy. Okay. But mat work keeps me out of anxiety and depression, and always feels like that whoosh clean sweep of like any kind of I get on the mat and then I go, everything's fine. Okay. So high frequency in a physical body very much registers as anxiety. And I want you to think about it as frequency. If I knew more scientific terms, but it's like having maybe a small wire with like a huge generator, trying to run this huge generator through a small wire. And so we don't want it to blow or fizzle out. We don't want to have a big old meltdown. And so then how do we navigate that? We literally drink more water, we rest, we meditate, we get on the mat, and food becomes much more important, I think, in the spring. Hi, Kara. As we move out of these energies, okay? So Aries is, in my mind, like the highest frequency, one of them, because it's naive and it's young and it's the first of the chart. So it's like we went from the hibernation energy of winter and Pisces. So remember, we're still talking about Pisces and Aries, right? This has been months now, and it kind of takes this little shift and transition. Pisces is the end of the zodiac. It's the wisest and the most psychic. And Pisces likes to float and really drift. So think of Pisces as a float tank, right? There's nothing more Pisces than a float tank. And then you have Aries, which is like, the sprinter who's actually like this weird marathon sprinter. So we've just turned the dial seasonally from Pisces season into Aries season. And so you've taken the frequency from like mellow and calm and receptive and hibernative, I think that's not even a word, of introspection, retrospection, and writing. And so then we just turn the dial up and you get of Aries. Aries is fire. Aries is go. Aries is electric in a lot of ways. So when you have this high anxiety, as we did and experienced last week, that's because there was so much energy. So I was trying to post things for you all last week, so I don't know who saw what, and a lot of the lives in my post didn't post, like they didn't, stay in the library. So a lot of it was, there was so much energy that they were really blessings, and it was really exciting. And it was like somebody turned the dial up on life last week. Meanwhile, all of these neat things were happening that I could feel energetically were good. I may not know why. Coincidences, a lot of yeses, a lot of small like yeses and open doors. But I totally had an adrenaline crash. Like the day after, I was like, okay, that was a lot, and then you go, managing and practicing your unicorn wellness tactics on UnicornWellness.Studio is all about minimizing those crashes, minimizing the amount of anxiety or depression, because depression is the opposite dial of anxiety, or just being able to surf them smoother, right? So Paula said that last week her anxiety was really bad. I had waves of it where I was like, okay, and I just took a breath, made some tea, did some stretches. When I could, I got in the bathtub and just kind of waited it out. Whereas in years past, I would have really been capsized and hid and really bit and barked at people and tried to keep doing instead of like closing off. Know that anxiety means like the dial got turned up. There's tons of really good high frequency coming in. But your physical body needs time and attention and tactics in order to integrate it to be able to run those rails. So I talk about this a lot when it comes to those who end up as unicorns on UnicornWellness.Studio as members, because, your vibe attracts your tribe, and like attracts like. I was super highly sensitive, and I am, but it used to capsize me, and it used to keep me sick and really depressed and in anxiety and panic attacks because I felt at the mercy of my body and of the energies at play. When you enter into a pattern and a lifestyle of getting on the mat, hydration and awareness, and this doesn't mean you're perfect, it just means you do these things more often than not, then when you feel these high frequencies come in and you're in tune and aware of the lunar cycle and the astrology, you go, yep, this is what happening right now, especially to unicorns, highly sensitive, highly psychic, highly connected bodies, right? And we can take a further leap into the star seeds, into old souls. These are all variations, and everyone's a little bit slightly different. But what I know of the unicorn tribe is that we're highly sensitive, we're highly empathetic. We are all healers in our own way, but we tend to really be capsized by this 3D plane. And then it's like, no. Those who are highly sensitive in this 3D incarnation, we need you more than other people because you are highly aware, highly connected. So if we can manage these energies and we can ground ourselves and have respect and balance for the 3D and divinity, then we are the ones that will change the frequency of the planet at faster, higher levels. Like, we are the change as a tribe. So when you have these like noticings of like high anxiety, yes, you're physically experiencing it in this plane, and it's scary. It doesn't feel good. But if you can somehow step out of it just a little bit and go, actually, this is a blessing. I'm aware of this. This high frequency is a blessing. I need to be able to hold it and to work with it. Okay. And sometimes anxiety, this like, turns into stress because we're trying to get to the things that we're feeling too fast, right? I hope that's going to make some sense. So anxiety is a part of what's going on here because we've shifted from Pisces into Aries. The daydreamy filtering. Yeah. So Joy, you got a whole lot done last week. So did I. And in years past, like, I would have just like hid under the bed with those kind of energies and not been able to deal with it. And now I'm, asking, for help or asking to rearrange schedules and not apologizing and understanding you can only get so much done in a day. And we need to protect the physical vessels so that we're protecting the soul and not to overwork, but to go with it when the energy's there. Right? So we've really, this interplay of Pisces and Aries is still going on, and it can feel really conflicted. So go with the flow moment to moment or day to day. One day feels amazing. The other day is like, what? One day feels like too much frequency. And then next day you're like, I can't even find a frequency. So the forgiveness and the understanding and the permission to literally go with the flow, which sounds so trite, is really true. The flow of frequency is changing as a collective, and we have to be capable of holding it and running those frequencies. Okay? I'm looking at the comments. Yes, Sarah, you're right. So it's really, really true that we get more familiar with, as we get more familiar with the cycles of energy from paying attention to it year to year. It is a powerful thing. I mean, it's been about 6 years now for me, almost 7, because I really mark it as my thyroidectomy because my anxiety levels were so high before that, and the panic attacks were frequent, and then looking back at change really is in the small progressions, and we, changes, I don't want to say Pisces, but it is this like kind of flowy thing. So yesterday in the weekly tarot reading, I really encouraged you all to look back over the last 2 and 3 years, because it tends to take 2 and 3 years for things to manifest in the physical world. Not to say that some things don't happen like that. Some do, but it's much rarer than you think. Frequency is one thing that we have to work on, we have to amplify, and we have to be able to run the rails of. But frequency is divine. The 3D world is dense, right? And it's slow. So I think why I teach what I teach is in the body is because the things that we do for a body take time to show up in our physicality and in our general wellness, meaning that just on like, hey, I'm trying to improve my bicep, right? I want to see some definition there. We're going to work a 4-week cycle, but you're probably not going to see definition for 12 weeks. That, you know, like, so that's what, 3 months, 90 days, because it takes that long. You're putting all those little micro changes into it and commitment to it, and then it finally shows up. So in the energetics of the world and manifestation, or change in ourselves, that's like a 2 to 3 year process. And that sounds long, but as a human adult, we know it's not. You know, now when we start to plan for 2 years out, we go, the first year is going to fly by. Like, so we better get on it right now to get some things done. I want to check the comments and kind of see what everybody's saying, but it's really, really important to track your own cycles through the astrology, and not like deathly important. It's just really useful. I know that I have a little bit of trouble in the transition from winter to summer. There's always a purge of some kind in my body and some sort of, you know, healing crisis. And I just got to go through it because we're purging the old, we're sprouting the new. I love spring and fall, so they're highly productive times for me. Summer, I just want to play, it gets too hot, and winter, I want to hide, it's too cold. So I know now that when I fight those things, it's just an unhappy, not fruitful life, right? Okay, I'm checking the comments. Yeah, Kira. Okay, so Kira just said I just literally summed up her last few days. This is why I'm hopping on here, especially on Tuesday, where I'm like, I don't really have a plan today. Nothing major was channeled through, but I want you all to feel supported, and I want you all to hear it. You're not crazy. This is what's happening right now. Don't go silent. I also know when the unicorns go silent, like in the private Facebook group or here in our lives or on social media, you all are all kind of dealing with your stuff. And I respect that, and we need to go silent sometimes, but I also know that, like, actually you need to reach out. You need to know that we're all brewing through it together, that the way to manage it, the way to make it better, I'm not full of shit. Get on the mat, go hydrate yourself, take a damn bath, and really honor your cycles and get in there with it, because it makes a distinct, drastic difference to yourself. And when you change and you evolve through yourself, you change the world one soul at a time. It's the only thing we have any control over. So this is where collective change happens, is in the independent, individual, unique self, your unicorn, right? Okay, checking more comments here. Yeah, and so Paula, that was a great tactic, right? She said she had a lot of work last week and she focused on the mat and hydration and meditation, and then you hid yesterday. This is how it goes. Like, I'm much more careful with my schedule. I would say in the last 8 months in particular, of looking at, okay, this week is just going to be busy and there's no way around that, and gratitude for bookings and for clients and for life and for opportunities. But I know that when I spend that much time doing those things and that kind of energy, I'm going to be wiped out. So I have to plan my hibernation and my restoration and my self-care. And there's all kinds of ways we can talk about this. Like, I'm an ENFJ, right? Like, and that's like 2% of the world. So it's like hypersensitive. I'm a classic introvert. I'm half and half, actually. But classic introvert means you recharge alone in quiet. So I love to be with you all. Like, I am an extrovert in this capacity. I'm like a 50-50. But in order for me to recharge and regroup and to, you know, fill up again, I need silence and quiet. I got a crazy week next week unintentionally. I had to move some things around because my kids have spring break, and I went, oh, they have spring break. And so I'm kind of hopscotching. And rather than let it fall apart, I go, it's a bit of a marathon. And then I plan this quiet time, this restoration time, right? And I know that maybe I should pull off the caffeine that week, because if we've still got Aries in play and anxiety, that needs to go down. Little Pisces energy needs more water, and so we need to support that aspect of things. I want to check the comments again too, because there's more kind of rolling in on both of them. And you guys, I'm live on Instagram and YouTube, so I'm looking up, down, and I don't know another way to really handle that for you to make it better and to still be able to see the comments. Last week was really challenging, couldn't sleep, and so you watched the monthly tarot reading. Yeah, this is totally it, to have tools, to not feel alone, that if you need to connect, I mean, this is the deal with UnicornWellness.Studio and your membership. Like, I am infusing each video with Reiki, meaning that if you're open to it, when you press play, you're in receiving mode. Like, that's healing energy coming at you. So listening to the tarot readings, that's just goodness filling up your soul, and using that meditation, even if you're not, this month it's bit of a moving meditation, right? It's like a swim, okay? But even if you didn't do the swim movement part and you just listened, that's receiving and healing and building and bringing things up. So that's good if that's filling you up. Awesome, Liz. You totally got on the mat every day. Like, yes. I realized there were like 3 days I didn't get on the mat because, again, life was really busy. And by day 3, I was like, I gotta go hide a little bit. I gotta move something because it's gonna kind of implode, Yeah, ENFJ. So this is like the, if you guys have done this, this is, the Myers-Briggs test, and you take the whole test about how you respond. So mine's like an empath, but highly judgmental, which everybody laughs at. But judgment is, discernment is critical discernment. So it makes me, in some instances, an excellent decision maker. But it's like the 2% of the population. So it's like highly sensitive, highly empathic. And again, like, I'm a witch and I'm psychic, and clairsentience is my main. I feel it. I actually get surges muscularly. It's like contractions. And it took me a long time to be okay with that, and a long time to understand like the yes, no messaging of it. So I just know at this stage in the game that me, quiet time, alone time, self-care time is just critical. This breaks, and I'm not of any use to you all or my own family or myself if I don't take care of it. So I'm teaching the things that I needed and that I had to learn and go through, and that I didn't see in one space, right? And so Kira had mentioned the other day that UnicornWellness.Studio is like one-stop shop. That's what I want. That's technology at its best. Like, okay, we all know we need to move, right? We as unicorns want a spiritual practice that supports our life. We're interested in tarot. Everybody knows they need to meditate. But when you're trying to collect all these pieces in 17 different places, one, you're getting 17 different teachers and 17 different voices. It's harder to find your own voice and your own center and your own intuition and gut in it. And I don't want to go to 17 places. I'm a Taurus. I like repetition and stability and familiarity, and I want it in one place. So why can't I get beautiful, high quality things in one place? So this is, again, why the practices matter, why you all have found a home here. And I know a lot of you too are members and you're still not really working it. And it's like, 2 times a week, and this is good. Better is better. Better is better than nothing. But if you all would just press play every day on something, the movement, the meditation, a tarot reading, like, these frequencies smooth out, that anxiety decreases, or the minute you like, I'm aware of that, I'm going to go help it, and I'm going to help smooth it out and ride it out rather than implode. Okay? Reading. Yeah, so you're an INFJ, Liz, that makes complete sense to me. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. That was good. You guys helping each other out. So on Instagram, they're posting the links for the Myers-Briggs, if you guys want to look it up. I mean, you could do, like, what is it, the Anagrams, and like there's all levels of it, and they all give us more information about ourselves, just like the Simple Stars reading does. I think last week, maybe Monday, we talked a ton about the Simple Stars reading, how useful it is. And again, I feel that your natal astrology chart is the one-stop shop if you've got somebody who can really read it well for you, rather than doing an Anagram and the Myers-Briggs and the whatever. But again, all useful in their place. There's not one right answer to something. There's information, there's collecting. And I always talk about life as being the universe, throwing puzzle pieces at you, and maybe they're from different puzzles, and you have to figure out how your pieces go together and what's going to help illuminate you, because you're going to have an aha from something. That's why some people are attracted to astrology versus the tarot versus Myers-Briggs versus the Anagram, because we are different and unique, and some things speak to us really loudly and we go, I understood it there, or you've gone to a million different teachers and you come to Unicorn Wellness and you get on the mat and you're like, that is the first time in my whole grown ass life that I ever understood a core contraction. I hear that a lot. Or I felt it, or I felt connected to my body, or that, there's a teacher for everybody. So there's There's a voice and a uniqueness in it. I'm going to check the comments, and then I'm going to kind of go back to the notes and head back into the Seven of Cups, because I feel like that's the card that was pulled today. So this is where we're headed as to what to really think about and move forward with today. Yeah, the simple stars is powerful, Lacey. It's really like, it's so much more than just your natal stars chart. If anybody's had a reading done before, I've had some feedback too. The people have had charts done by really famous astrologers, and they're like, yours was like way better than dead on. Mine's a little different, and I don't call myself an astrologer for this reason. I don't go through every aspect in your chart. The geometry of it is fascinating, and I do the basics and the foundation of your sun, your rising, and your moon, but I do give you a tour through your entire chart and your houses, so you get a little bit of everything. But when I do charts, there's a lot of channeled information that comes through. And I feel that that's what makes it more unique and more powerful, is because I'm not just reading the geometry of the aspects, right? Like, it is a system, and systems give us structure, but it is more of a channeled messaging experience when you book with me. So yeah, like, put it on your wish list, set it out there. It's really powerful in the functional training category too, because I can look at how much fire, air, earth, and water, and that denotes really a lot of wellness lifestyle pieces that keep you healthy and in transition and upswing, which is cool. And Shauna said she listens to different tarot readings almost daily, because you can do it during your commute, harder for you to squeeze in mat time. And that's when you have to cultivate time, right? Like, we do have time to do things, and that may mean that we have to get up earlier, go to bed a little bit later, but it's 30 minutes. And even if you just did 15 minutes of the mat, like, it is about getting all the pieces in play. And that's not to say that better isn't better, and that we all have times where we're stronger in one, meditation and the tarot or the mat or the food. But if we can get all 4 of these points really spinning, all the plates spinning at once, this is powerful. And if we ignore the physical aspects, so this is part of what Seven of Cups is pushing us towards, then we ignore part of the power. We're in a 3D incarnation. If we don't deal with the physical vessel, guess what also doesn't get dealt with? Manifestation. Because we want physical manifestations. So if we're just in the ethers, this is where we talk about, like, if we're, high vibe, and it's like, I just want to increase my vibe because I want to manifest. In order to manifest, you need a high vibe, but more importantly, you need to be grounded. So I'll take equal vibe with equal grounding in order to bring things into fruition. Get too grounded and no vibe, you're stuck in the mud, nothing happens either. Balance is always best and always key. So if we're filling up, and everything's only in our mind and only in our head and in air, meaning in meditation and in tarot, because these are, they're emotional things for sure, but they're still airy, right? And we don't get on the mat and do a physical connection between the physical body and the energies, we are missing an opportunity for manifestation big time. Big time. Because what's one of the main things that happens when people start any, fitness program or any movement pattern? They gain confidence. They feel comfortable and secure and safe in their own body, regardless of the size of it. So that is an energetic piece at play in the world that the universe responds to. It's frequency, right? So it's like, you meet people who are like uber fit, and you're like, they're so, confident, and they'll just go do things and go try things and things happen. Right, that's confidence. That's in the solar plexus. That's in your core. So when you train physically, you are connecting to the power of manifestation through the 3D frequency. Does that make sense, you guys? I hope it makes sense. Reading comments. Yeah, making time for the mat, this is classic for people of like, they resist movement. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's a resistance to connection to self. And if you're resisting connecting to yourself, that is a resistance to connecting with spirit, God, goddess, divine spirit, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness. Whatever words you want to use for it. The physical body is the vessel of the soul. This is heaven on earth. And when we resist movement patterns, and we don't all have to be fitness gurus, you don't have to. That's why I like to teach 30 minutes. 30 minutes is enough. It doesn't go overboard. It's not crazy. We have a physical body. And part of this incarnation is, connecting to it, loving it, sensual pleasure. I mean, getting on the mat, you can very much argue that it's a sensual pleasure of being in your own skin and an embodiment and getting comfortable and feeling empowered in it and making friends with it. It's built to move. So that resistance becomes this interplay. And I think on a social, cultural level, it's also become kind of this badge of trying rather than doing. Like, try and fail. Don't like it. You're not supposed to like everything, honestly. You know what I mean? It's like thinking that everything should be enjoyable and fun. Sometimes you do have to push yourself past the comfort zone. That's where change is. So when there's not time to get on the mat, look at what you're giving priority to and what you're allowing yourself to stay away from. You know, because that's a really personal, deeply, I'm going to take that leap and say a very sensual connection with your personal body, you know, and it comes easier to some people. I totally get it. But why I teach what I teach: movement, fuel, self-care, and spiritual ritual. These are the 4 points of a really joyfully expressed life, capable of manifesting, capable of giving, capable of receiving. And so the mat, in my opinion, is one of the most powerful transitioners, because you make friends with the physical vessel, with heaven on earth. Your soul feels protected and integrated and happy and healthy. If you are avoiding the physical body, you're avoiding the soul, you know? And so we know they're not the same thing, but the soul doesn't know the difference. It thinks it is its body. That's the crazy thing. So we go, it's just a vessel. It's just a body. It's a gift. And if we didn't have this body, we would not be alive. We would not be incarnated. And the vessel, the soul wants a happy home that's connected. So I don't know what more to say about that, except get on the mat, look at where you're resisting creating and cultivating time for yourself. This is going to be one of those, like, just stop making it a thing and just try. Just put it in your calendar twice a week. I mean, I poo-poo twice a week. I'm not poo-pooing it. Like, twice is better than nothing. And then you'll get comfortable and familiar, and then you'll come back 3 times, and then you'll make that 4 times, and inevitably it becomes 5, 6, and 7. It's just a matter of taking the leap and being willing to do what you're uncomfortable with. And we tend to avoid what we need most. Let that one sit out there for a little while. Okay? And we all do what's easiest for us, what we like best, right? I like to meditate. That Pisces moon is so comfortable there. Once I finally, gave into it, like, I will always do my meditation, but even sometimes I will make excuses and let my mat slide. That's the Taurus stubborn laziness that goes, oh, it just sounds like too much trouble right now. Meanwhile, I know it's not, and I always feel better, and I'm much better off for it. Okay? So, yeah. Reading through the comments, and then I'll come back to this card. See, it's tangent day. It's totally a tangent day. Yeah, Joy. I mean, this is it. This is what happens too. I mean, Joy said that when she misses getting on the mat for a couple of days, then she gets antsy. This is like the sign of a unicorn, of a high vibe person, that you're running good frequencies, because there's that buildup of it, and it needs that flow through. So when we don't get on the mat for extended periods of time, it actually can create blockages of energy, right? So we don't want that. That's just another thing to have to go repair later on and move through. So if we're consistently moving through it, getting on the mat to me is like brushing your teeth. We brush our teeth every day, whether we do it twice a day or not, or whether we floss or not, because we don't want them to fall out of our head, because it's gross, because we know that bacteria and disease can build up in our mouth. We know that, right? So getting on the mat is energetic disease and buildup that can, stagnate and then become real true diseases and illnesses. So we want to be doing it frequently, more days than not. I mean, you're not going to intentionally skip a day of brushing your teeth, are y'all? Sometimes we do it by, we forget. Something happened, and then we're like, oh my God, I got to go do that right now. Why do we not treat the mat like that? Our physical body vessel bigger than those damn teeth. So part of me gets to become, or I become kind of the pushy trainer of, like, just do it. Just stop complaining and do it. Like, I don't like those kind of trainers, but there does reach a point of, all of this, I don't like this and I don't have time. And we all know, because we're unicorns and we're aware and we are conscious and connected, that those are the flags for what am I putting in priority? Why am I not putting myself as a priority? What part of this healing piece am I not connecting with because I don't understand it yet because I'm not doing it yet, right? And so then sometimes we just have to be brave and not know and be uncomfortable and go, I don't know how this is going to turn out. It's never gone well before, but I'm going to try, and commit to it. That's why I say when people come to the site, that's why I give 30 days free on the site. It takes time to see if you're going to like hearing my damn voice or to be on that mat or how it connects with your body. And I want people to genuinely have that opportunity with zero pressure. Press play twice a week, 3 to 4 weeks. You're going to know if it's a fit or not. And if it's not, you cancel the free subscription. And then if it is, you go, this might really be the thing. What I've heard year after year after year is that this is a program that people really love, to do, and that they've never connected to things in a way before, So there you go. There's something really beautiful about it. And give it a whirl. Just give it a try. Okay. So it's 10:47. I'm going to circle back to the card that I pulled for today, which is 7 of Cups. So what we're being called to do on top of this, weekly reading that we did yesterday for our live tarot is to really choose. 7 of Cups is about choosing what we want our life filled with. So there's this conflicting energy of Pisces, of surrender and allowing anything to come through. And then we have this, Aries energy of go, 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 do, 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 make things happen. Okay. And so when we have these two pieces of conflict, it's really important that you really work through and pick and choose what you are wanting, because the energy is high for manifestation. Aries are very excellent manifestors. It's firepower energy. And so if you can really pick what you want your cups filled with and not get overwhelmed with the anxiety or not get overwhelmed with feeling like the flow is weird, then really perk up and start to write down, what do you want? What is it you really want? Big or little? What kind of life do you want? So again, cups, what do you want your cups filled with in a day-to-day level? And so this is the time of one step at a time, okay, of really putting things in motion and then really drawing back and not getting scared and not giving up and not capsizing what's happening, okay? So it's a time of choosing what you want in your cups, because we can think of manifestation as highest and greatest good, whatever the universe offers me and whatever comes my way. But it is a 3D incarnation and it's balance of humanity and divinity. So this means you need to put your finger on something. You need to point at something and say, and name it and claim it. I want this. And then the universe can come in to conspire when the frequencies and the vibrations are high enough to help support, bring those things into manifestation. It is equal, doing and magic, right? Willpower, humanity, and divinity. So there's a work plus a receive effort at it. All right, you guys? Okay, I'm going to close out for today. Instagram's still going, so I'm going to let it ride out, but I'm going to close out on YouTube. I love you all very much. If you're interested in booking a private session with me, it's tandygutierrez.com. The Deep Dive to Thrive sessions are on sale all the way through April, so go book them. It's the only time this year. If you are interested in the free membership, it's 30 days free on the site at UnicornWellness.Studio. There's a code there for you to use. It is nothing weird. You like it, you keep it, then you pay for it out on day 31. You don't, you cancel, no big deal. Okay. Anything else? Live event here in Brooklyn, April 19th. So if you're interested, head over to tandygutierrez.com with that as well. All right. I love you guys very much. And I'll probably see you on Instagram later this week. And yeah, that's it. Also on YouTube, if you guys can please like this video, it's really helpful. It won't stream on mobile until we've got 1,000 subscribers on this channel. I'm letting the old channel just sit, but I really want to build this one out. So if you guys can click the like button, that would be super helpful. Commenting on these videos is really powerful and helpful also. Okay, so I love you all very much, and I will see you next week.